Hello everyone. In this video we will be learning about lists in Python programming language. So first of all, what is a list in Python programming language? So the lists are Python's compound data types. So what do you mean by compound data type? So a compound data type is one that holds multiple independent values of different types or different data types. That means in a list we can store values of different data type, or we can say heterogeneous data can be or heterogeneous values can be stored in a list. Hence it is known as compound data type. Also the lists are mutable type. So the mutable type is those type whose values can be changed or modified. Since the values present in the list can be changed or modified, hence the lists are known as mutable types or mutable data type. Therefore, a list in Python represents a list of comma separated values of any data type but between square bracket. So I will be showing you few examples of the list. So if you want to create a list, just take a variable, a valid variable. Suppose I have taken a variable name, and then if you want to create a list, you have to use a square bracket. See, like over here I have used a square bracket. If you will use a small bracket, it will become a tuple. Tuple is immutable. That means whose values cannot be changed in place, but list is mutable, its values can be changed. Inside the list we can store heterogeneous values, so I can store any values over here, 12 or AV rev zeta, values in decimal. So you can store any values in the list. So this is a list. In this list, the thing that you need to keep in mind is that the list, to create a list we have to use square brackets. Look over here, I have used a square bracket, and inside this you can store values of any type values you can use. This is a string value, this is a decimal, this is numerical values. So we can store heterogeneous data inside a list. And now if I write print name, it will display the values which is present in the name. Name is name of the list that I have created. Similarly, you can create any other list, like L is a list that I have created, and then I have entered, you can enter any values. ABCD. So this is the list that I have created, print L. So it will display the values which is present in the list. Values in the list can also be removed or modified. The lists are a mutable sequence of Python. That is, you can change the elements of a list in place. So lists are formed by placing a comma separated list of expression in your square brackets. And as I have already told you that list can contain value of mixed data type. So you can see in the example also. So here I have created a list. If you want to create a list, I have named the list as x equal to x and then equal to within square bracket. This is your square bracket. You can enter the heterogeneous values. So it will create a list. If you want to create an empty list, you can just use the square bracket and nothing inside it. So this will create an empty list named x. So you can also create an empty list with the help of a list function. So if you want to create an empty list or you want to generate an empty list with the help of list function, you can use that particular function, the list function, in this manner. First you have to specify a name for the list, and then equal to list, it should be in small letter and then parenthesis, small bracket. So this will create an empty list. So this I'll be showing you with an example also. So suppose I want to create a list, so empty list, so you can just use this it will create an empty list, or you can use list function if you want to create an empty list. So you can write print x, it is an empty list, type x. So type, it is used to specify the type of the object, it is a list. So if you want to create a list, suppose again let's create a list 12, 23, RV rev cat. So I'll go okay, Hungary. So this is the list that I have created. So you can see over here, you can store heterogeneous value, you can store integer value, you can also store values in decimal or a string values in a list. Next, what is a nested list? So when you place a list inside another list, that is known as a nested list. So see here in the example, I have created a list. Inside this list, I have stored one more list. So total number of elements in this list are 1, 2. This will be treated as 1, 3, and this is your 4. So L1 is a nested list with 4 elements, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. The index number of the first element will be 0. Index number of the second element will be 1. And the index number of the third element, which is a list, inside a list, it will be 2, and the last one will be 3. As I have already told you that in list or in tuple, or may it be a string, the index number always start with 0. The first value or the first element of a string or a list or a tuple, they have the index number as 0. Now creating list from existing sequence. Now if you want to create a list from a sequence, so you can use the list function for that. So if you want to create, like over here you can see in the example, I have created a list with the help of a string hello. So the list L1 is created from another sequence, a string which is hello. So it generates individual element from the individual letter of the string. So when you will type L1, it will display HELLO separately as a separate individual elements. H will have index number 1, E will have index number, H will have index number 0, E will have index number 1, this L will have index number 2, next L it will have index number 3, and this one O it will have index number 4. You can also use tuple to create a list. Like over here you can see I have created a tuple T equal to, for creating a tuple you have to use small bracket, and values of tuples are immutable. That means you cannot change the values in place of tuple, whereas in list you can change the values present in the list, hence the list are known as mutable. So if you want to create a list with the help of tuple, for that also you can use the list function, and I will be showing you practically how to do that. So let's create a list from a string first. Suppose I have created a list named ST, and I want to create a list LONDON London, and when I will give the command print name of the list S2, so you can see LONDON, these are individual elements of the list named ST. If you want to display the first element or the first element present in the list, you have to give the command ST 0, because the index number of the first element in the list is 0. It will display L. If you want to display the second element, you have to give 1. It will display O. Now if you want to create a list with the help of tuple, let's create a tuple first. Suppose I have created a tuple T, and then Here I have written C O. You can also enter heterogeneous values in a tuple. Since it is a number, I need not use double quotes to close it because it is a numerical value. 45. Decimal number also you can take. Okay, let's suppose this is the tuple that I have created, and I want to create a list with the help of this tuple. The procedure is same, and then list function I will be using, and T is the tuple that I am going to use to create a list. So since T is the tuple that I am going to use to create the list with the help of list function, so I will use T inside the small bracket within the parenthesis. So this small bracket is known as parenthesis. So when I will give the command S2, so here it is a list. So you can differentiate the list from the tuple T. You can see the brackets. In list you will get square bracket, and in tuple you will get small brackets. So this is how you can differentiate the tuple and a list. Next I will be telling you the use of eval function. So what is the use of eval function? Now if you want to enter a list of integers, suppose you want to enter a list of integers through keyboard. You want to enter a list of integers through keyboard. You want to enter the numbers with the help of keyboard. So for that we will be using the eval method or the eval function. So to enter a list of integers through keyboard, we can use the method called eval. But if you are not using the function called eval function, so what type of output you will be getting, that I will be telling you. Like first, suppose without using eval, suppose I want to enter number using keyboard. So suppose I want to create a list, and then is input it is used to accept the value from the user. Enter a list. So suppose, okay, now it will ask me to enter the value from the keyboard, because I have given the input function over here. Input, it is used to accept the value from the user. So enter a list. So I have entered the list 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 8, 9, 22, 12, 22, 25. Suppose this is the number. So when I will press enter, now if suppose I want to see what are the values present in the list, so I will give the command print L1, or you can just type L1. So you can see over there, I think you are getting a bit confused because you have entered the number, but what you get over here, you are getting the string values. You can see these all are your string values. You can identify the string values with the help of these quotes. Again you can see whatever value you have entered, whether it is comma or the numerical values, you will find single quotes. Single quotes indicate that these are your string values, these are not your numerical values, but you have entered the numerical values over here, and the output, as output you are getting string values. So if you want to generate a list of integer values, we will be using eval function. In that case we won't be using list, so here we will be using eval function. So when now let's make it L2. Now let me enter the same value that I have entered over here, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 22 and 25. So when I will press enter key, let's see what is there in L2. You can directly write L2 or you can print L2. So now you see you are getting the numbers, not the string values. So if you want to create a sequence of number, you want to generate a sequence of number, for that you can use eval function instead of list function. Accessing lists. So if you want to display the total number of elements which are present in a list, we will use lang function, len, and then the name of the list. So it will display total number of elements which are present in the list. Total number of elements means total number of values which are present in the list. Next is indexing and slicing. Indexing and slicing, they are used to access individual element or a group of element within a from a values or a set from a set of values. So slicing means you want to extract a particular value or a set of value from a large set of values. So about indexing and slicing I will be telling you later in the coming videos. Just for the timing I will be telling you how to extract a particular value. So if you want to extract a particular value from a list, you have to specify its index number. Index number of first element is 0. So if I write, suppose L is the name of the list and I is the index that you want to extract. So when I write L0 within square bracket, it will extract or take out or display the first element of the list L. So Li, it returns the item at index I. So if you want to extract the value in the range, for that I will be using Li colon j. Here I specifies the starting index and j means the end index. So it returns a new list containing the objects at index between I and j, but it will not display the value which is present at index number j. About this I will be telling you in the coming videos with examples also. Now coming to membership operator, there are two membership operator, in and not in. Both in and not in operator works on list just like they work for other sequence. That is, in tells if an element is present in a list or not, and not in does the opposite of in. Like suppose I have created a list and in the list there are numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I want to check whether 8 is there in the list X, so I write 8 in X, so it will display false because 8 is not present in the list. If I write 5 in X, then also it will display false because Python is case sensitive programming language. This is small x and this is capital X, right? So you have to be careful when you are typing something, as Python is a case sensitive programming language. So let's talk about indexing. So st, this is our st is the list that I have created. If you see for, and now suppose if I write st1, so it will display the element which is present at index number 1, so it will display O, because the index number, as I have already told you, starts with 0. The first element will have index number 0, this will have index number 1, this will have index number 2, and so on. Therefore when I am writing st1, it is displaying 0, not C. Now if I write over here 1 colon 4, so it will display the index number from 1 to 4 but not of 4. That means it will display index number 1, index number 2 and index number 3. It will not display the index number of the last element that I have specified in the range. So it will display index number 1, index number 2 and index number 3. So you can see with an example, and then just press enter over here. You can see O, 12 and 45 are there. If I write over here 12 in st, it will display true because 12 is present in st. So in and not in our membership operator. If I write over here 12 not in st, it will display false because in not in does just the opposite of in. If it is there, it will display not, it will display false. If it is not there, it will display true, the not in. In, if the value is present there, it will display true. If the value is not present there, it will display false. Next is your concatenation and repetition operator. Your plus is your concatenation operator and multiplication star sign, that is multiplication is your replication operator. Now concatenation means to join. So if I want to join two lists, suppose this is the list L1 10 having value 10, 12 and 13, L2 is having 5, 6 and 8, L3 I have created a new list and I have written L1 plus L2. Now what this will do, it will concatenate or join the values of L1 and L2. So you can see over there 12, so 10, 12, 13 are from L1 and 5, 6, 8 are from L2. So in L3 we are having the values of L1 and L3. So now we are having three lists, L1, L2 and one more list that we have created, that is L3, by concatenating the values of L1 and L2. So for concatenating or joining two lists, we can use the plus operator. Now comes the replication operator, that is the star sign or the multiplication. So since it is a replication operator, it will repeat it the given number of times. Suppose I have written L2 into 2, it will display whatever values are there in L2 2 times. So the value in L2 is 568, so it is displaying 568 2 times. If you write over here L2 into 10, it will display the value of L2 10 times. 20, it will display it in 20 times. You can see that with an example also. So you can write over here, suppose I have written over here print star into 10. Okay, let's print star into 10. So it will display star 10 times. ST was the list that we have created, and if you write ST into 3, it will display the same value, the value of ST 3 times. Now accessing individual elements, as I have already told you, if you want to access the individual element of a list or of any sequence, we have to specify the index number. So with the help of index number, we can access any elements which is present in a list or a sequence or any sequence, but the number should be positive number. But suppose you have entered a negative number, then what output will you get? Like for example, over here you can see, suppose I have entered -5 over here. So what will be the output? Now if you have entered a sign in negative, then what will happen? It will add the length of the list to it. Length of the list, L-E-N, my drawing is not too good, L-E-N-G-T-H, length of the list, and then it will generate a new index number. So the individual element of a list are accessed through their indexes. While accessing list elements, if you pass a negative index, Python adds the length of the list to the index to get the elements forward index. That is, for a 6 element list, L minus 5 will be internally computed as -5 plus 6, that is L equal to 1, and so on. So if you want to access individual element of a list, suppose our list was ST, so this is our list. So if you want to display the individual element of a list, so what we do, we write the index number. But suppose you have written the index number, a negative index number, 4, -4. So what will be the output? So for that, first let's take out the length. So you should know the length of the list. So the length of ST is 6. So if I write over here ST, a negative number over here, -4 or any other negative number, so you will get, sorry, the name is wrong over here. The name is of the list is ST. So -4, it will displaying 12. But how come 12? I have written over there -4, but the output that I am getting is 12. So whenever you write a negative index number, negative number over here within square bracket, so what happens? Suppose you have written -4, it will add the length of the list to it. The length of the list ST is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The length of the list is 6. so it will add 6 to it, and the output that you are getting -4 plus 6 is 2. So let's see the index number. The index number of this value is 0, this is 1, and of 12 is 2. Hence, sorry, this is 12. Hence you are getting 12 over here, because -4, you have written -4, it will add the length of the list to it, and whatever the value you will get, that will be the index number, and that index number's values will be displayed to you. So let's try with another example. Suppose you have written 3 over here. Okay, -3 you have written over here, or you have written here 5. Let's take it 5 also. My ST -5. So it will display O over here. How come O over here? Because if you write over here 6, length of the list is 6. So -5 plus 6, so you will get 1. And then you have to see the value which is present at index number 1. So the value which is present at index number 1 is 0. Therefore, you are getting the same 0 over here. Same value will be displayed to you over here. So this is how you are going to display the output when a negative number is there in the list. Next is your comparing lists. So if you want to compare the list, we can use relational operator or comparison operator, less than, greater than, equal to. For equal to, you have to use 2 equal to's. Don't use 1. 1 equal to is to assign, and you have to use 2 equal to. Okay, don't use 1. This is your assignment operator. You are assigning a value. If you want to check or you want to compare, you have to use 2 equal to. 2 equal to. Don't use 1 equal to. To comparison, you have to use 2 equal to. This is the sign of not equal to. So the Python internally compares individual element of the list in lexicographical order. That means that to compare equal, each corresponding element must compare equal, and the two sequence must be of the same type, that is having comparable types of values. Like over here, L1 is 1 2 3, L2 is 1 2 3, L1 equal to L2, it is displaying true because L1 is equal to L2. But here L1 is 1 2 3, but I have taken one more list L3 where it is written 1, which is having the value 1 2 and 3, but 2 and 3 are in a list. So number of element in L3 are only 2 elements. Here we are having 3 elements. Here we are having 2 elements. One is 1 and the second element is combination of 2 and 3. It is a nested list. So 1 equal to 3, it is displaying 4, because I have already written over here, Python internally compares individual elements or individual elements of list and tuples in lexicographical order. Lexicographical order means that to compare equal, each corresponding element must compare equal and the two sequence must be of the same type. That is, they must have comparable types of values. Here they are not having comparable type of values. Now this is it is having 3 values. Here it is having 2 values. 1, this is a nested list, therefore it is displaying false. Next comes your joining list. As I have already told you, the plus operator, it is used to concatenate or join the list. So here we are having 2 lists, L1 and L2. L1 and L2. I have created one more list, L3. In this I am concatenating and joining L1 and L2. So we get a new list which is made up of both the L1 and L2. And this is your replicating operator, multiplication. It is your replicating operator. It will display the values in the list a given number of times. I have written 10. It will display the values, same values 10 times. 2, it will display the same values 2 times. Slicing the list. So now we will be doing practically slicing the list. But first, what is a slice, or what do you mean by slicing? The slicing means to extract a part of a list or of any data set. So you are having a large data set and you want to extract a small part of that particular data set. For that we will be using slicing. Now how to do slicing? As you can see on the screen, for slicing you have to specify the index numbers or the indexes of the start element and the end element. But one thing you have to keep in mind is that while slicing it will display all the elements which is inside the start and the stop indexes, but it will not display the value which is present in stop index. That means in my case, suppose the start index number is 4 and the stop index number is 10. Now it will display all the values which are present at index number or the index number between 4 to 10, but not of 10. That means it will display the value which is present in index number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. It will not display the value which is present at index number 10. So when you write L is the name of the list from which I want to extract the value, start is the index number of the starting value and stop is the index number of the stop value. But the index number of the stop value or the value which is present or the index number which is present over here in the stop position, that particular index's values will not be displayed. So if my index number is 2, so starting value is 2 and end value is 4, so it will only display the value which is present at index number 2 and 3. So let's try this with an example. So suppose I've created a list, name of my list is R or CL, and then I've written over here 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9, 11, 12. I can also specify, since I can store heterogeneous data inside a list, so I can also use string values. For storing string values, you can write the string values either in single quotes or in double quotes also. Let's close the list. So as I've already told you, you have to create list, you have to use the square brackets. So CL is the list. So if I give the command CL 2:5, here this 2 is the starting index and 5 is the end index. So it will not display the value which is present at the stopping index, that is 5. So it will display only the index or the value which is present at index number 2, 3 and 4. So when you will press enter key, so you can see over here it is only displaying the values which is present at index number 2, 3 and 4. In index number 2 we are having 3, index number 3 we are having 46, and index number 4 we are having 70, sorry, we are having 7. At index number we are having 5, but it will not display the value which is present at the last index number. Index number in a series always start with 0, so this will have index number 0, 1 will have index number 0, 2 will have index number 1 and 3 will have index number 2. I can see again, you can see this with an example. Suppose I have created a list LST, and if I write over 3:7, okay, let's close this window. Okay, I have written over here 3:7. 3 is the starting index and 7 is the last index, so it will not display the value which is present at index number 7. So this 0 10 will have index number 0 1 2, this will be 3 4 5 and 6. So it will display 20 22 24 and 30. Now let's come over here. Now here I have created a value in which the output that will be generated, or the set that will be or the slicing that will be done with the help of the values that I have written over here, it will be stored in SEQ. So this is another list will be generated, in which this list SEQ list will contain the output of this LST 3 minus 3, but I have written over here 3, starting value is 3 and index number is 3. The starting index number is 3 and the end index number is minus 3. So when I am written over here minus 3, what will be the output over here? So as I have already told you, whenever you write minus 3, it will add the length of the string to it and a new index number will be generated. So the length of LST is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So length of the list LST is 9. So your new range will be 3. This is this 3 and minus 3 plus 9 equal to plus 6. So it will be 6. So 3 colon 6 will be your new list sequence. So let's see what output you will get. Index number 0 1 0 1 2 3 is 20, 4 is 22, 5 is 24. Index number of the last index will not be displayed, so it will only display 20, 22 and 24, and it will store this value in a new list called SEQ. So when you write SEQ 0, it will display 20, because the index number of 0 is the index number of 20 is 0, index number of 22 is 1, and index number of 24 is 2. So since I have written SEQ 0, it will display the value which is present at index number 0 in SEQ list, and we have generated SEQ list from LST list by specifying 3 minus 3. So when I am writing minus 3 over here, minus 3, so minus 3, it will add the length of the list to it. Length of the list is 9. So the new value that will come over here, it will be 6. So now you are having LST 3 colon 6, and whatever value you will get, whatever index number is present in 3, 4 and 5, it will be stored inside SEQ. So this is how you will display the output. Let's try another example. Now lists also support slice steps. Now L start colon stop colon step, it creates a list slice out of a list L with elements falling between indexes start and stop, but not including stop, skipping step 1 element in between. So if you write over here, suppose this is your list over here, and you have written 0 colon 6 colon 2, it will display the elements with a gap of 1. That means, suppose let's try this with an example. I will show you this with an example. Suppose this is the list that you have created, CL. So if I write over here 0 is the starting index, or I can write instead of 0, suppose I have written 1 over here, starting index, 8 is the end index, so it will display the value between 1 to 8 but excluding 8. So it is displaying, so this is 1 is 0, this is having index number 0, 2 is having index number 1, therefore it is displaying 2, 0 index number 1, index number 2, index number 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. It will not display the value which is present at index number 8. But if I write over here colon 2. So if I write over here colon 2, this is the step. So when I write over here 2, it will skip one value. If I write 3, it will skip 2 value. That means it will display 1 and then it will skip one value and it will display 3. Then it will skip one value and then it will display the next value. It will skip one value, then it will display the next value. It will skip one value, then it will display the next value. If I write over here 2, so you can see the output over here. Now the output is 2, 4, 6, 9, 12. Earlier the output was 2, 3, 46, 7, 9, 11 and 12. Since I have written over here the step 2, so first it will display 2 and then it will skip one value and then it will display the next value. Then it will jump to the next value. Then it will jump to, sorry, not the next value, the value to the next value. That means it will skip 1. If you write over here 2, it will skip one value, or you can say if you write 2 over here, it will display the value of which is coming after 2 number, first number, second number, then first number, second number, first number and second number. First number and second number. So you can see the output 2, 46, 9 and 12. Again, let's try it again. Suppose I have written over here CL. Let's start from index number 0 only. 0 till, how many elements are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 0 till 11, and if I write over here 3, so you can see the output. It will first display the first number, then it will give a gap of 2 number, then the third number will, next number will be displayed, gap of 2, next number, gap of 2 and then hello. So you will get over here 1, 46, 11 and hello. So this is the starting element. 0 is the starting element, 11 is the end, so or the starting element or the index number of the starting element, 11 is the index number of the end element, but it will not display the value which is present at index number 11, and 3 is the step, that means the gap that you want. So same things is happening over here. So if you write over here colon 3, it will display all the element with a gap of 3. So no start and stop given, only step is given as 3, that is from the entire list it picks every third element for the list slice, every third element. Since I have written 3, that means it will give you a gap of 2 and it will display every third element. So it will display 10 and then the third element is 2. That means it is giving a gap of 2 and then it will pick up with the third element, gap of 2, third element is this, and gap of 2, third element will be this one, but it will not display the last element. So CL is your list. If you write CL colon it will display entire element, all the element will be displayed. If you write this way, CL colon, you haven't specified the end element, you haven't specified the start element, you haven't specified the end element, and you haven't specified the steps. Therefore it will display entire list. Entire list will be displayed in this manner. If you write CL, no start, no end, no steps, entire. If you write over here CL start, no start, no end, and step, you have given 2. So you can see the output over here. First element, every second element will be displayed. It will give a gap of 1, then the next element, gap of 1, then the next element. Every second element will be displayed. If you write over here 3, every third element will be displayed by giving a gap of 2. And if you write -1, it will reverse your list. Suppose this is the list, you can write CL is the list. If you write over here CL colon colon minus 1, it will reverse your list. So you can see hello, earlier it was here at the end, now it has come on the in the front, followed by Ravi, followed by 12, 11, 9. One was in the beginning, one is now at the end. So when you will give the command CL, okay, so this was our list that we have created. We can create a variable X and then store this inside X. So when I will print X, it will display the reverse of the list that we have created. Earlier the list was CL, this was the list, and X is the list that we have created by reversing the order. If you have specified, if you don't specify the AND start element, it will start the value from starting. That means from index number 0, 5, it will display the value from 0 till 4. Fifth element will not be displayed, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is having index 1 is having index number 0, index number 0, it is having index number 1, index number 2, index number 3, index number 4, index number 5 will not be displayed. And suppose if you have written index number 3 and then colon, you haven't specified the AND element, then it will display all the elements starting from 3 till end, including the AND also, if you haven't specified the AND element. So here you can see it is displaying hello also. So it will display all the values which are present in the indexes starting from 3. So the index number 0, index number 1, index number 2, index number 3 is 46. The value which is present at index number 3 is 46, and then index number 4, 5, 6 till, and it will display all the values. So as I have already told you, so if you write over here colon colon minus 1, it will reverse your list. The list will be reversed. Hello friends, in my previous videos I have told you about lists, what is list, how to create a list. In this video I will be telling you certain functions that we will be using in a list. Our first function that we will be using in the list will be append, as you can see on your screen. The use of append method is that it adds a single item to the end of the list. If you want to add a single item at the end of the list, for that we can use the append function. And how we are going to do that, I will be telling you with an example. Suppose CL is the list that we have created, and now I want to add a new element to this list. So I will write CL dot append, CL dot append, and within square bracket, sorry, within the small bracket, you can write any heterogeneous data, but it only one value will be added. Suppose I have written 16 over here, so in CL 16 will be added at the end. Again I want to add a new value, so CL dot append high. So high will be added at the end, not in the between, not in the first, not in the middle. Append, it is used only to add the value at the end of the list, not in the middle. So if you want to add a value in the middle of a particular list, for that we will have a function which is known as insert function. About that I will be telling you later, but first append function. So append function, it is used to add a value at the end of a list. After append function, next we will be doing updating elements to a list or updating elements of a list. So if you want to update an element of the list, suppose this is our list LST, and then I have entered over here values 10, 12, 45 and 18 or 1. Suppose this is the list that I have created, and I want to update the list. That means I want to replace a particular value with some another value. For that I will use the name of the list and then the index number. Suppose I want to change the value this 1 to some another values. So the index number of 1 is 0, 1, 2, 3. So I will write over here list 3, and the new value that I want to add, I want to make it 20. So now the new value of my list is 10, 12, 45 and 20. 1 is be replaced with 20. This is how we are going to update our list. Again, let me show you with one more example. List 0, 0 means the first element's value. List 0, 100. So instead of 10, 100 will come, or you can also write a particular name over here, cowboy. So LST. So this is how we are going to update our list. So after updating, the next command or that we will be doing will be deleting the elements which is present in a list. So for that we will be using del statement. So del statement can be used to remove an individual item or to remove all item in a slice, or we can delete the entire list also with the help of del statement. So with the help of del statement, either we can delete an individual element or a slice, that means a subset of a list, or an entire list can be deleted also. So let's try that with an example. Suppose we will use the same list. The name of our list was LST. If I want to delete a particular element, so I will give the command del name of the list LST and the index number 2. So when I will give 2, whatever element is present at index number 2 will be deleted. So this is cowboy is having index number 0, 1, 2 and 3. So index number 45 will be, this 45 value will be removed now, since I have written 2 over here. So when you will give this command, so let's see LST. So now you don't have 45. This 45 has been removed because I have written over here del LST2. This is the index number. Within square bracket you have to write the index number of the value that you want to delete. Okay, now let's delete something in a range, or we want to delete a subset. So let's create a list. Suppose L1 is the list, or A1 is the list that I want, that I've created. In this I have entered certain values A, B, R. You can even write in single quotes again R, A, V, I, 1, 2, 3, 4. So suppose this is our list, name of the list is A1, and I want to delete a particular range or subset. So I have to write the name of the list and then the range or the subset that I want to delete. The subset that I want to delete is 4 to 8. So when I will give this command, it will delete all the elements which are present at index number 4, 5, 6 and 7. Since I have written 4:8, it will not delete the value which is present at index number 8, because I have already told you when you write 4:8, it means 4 to 7, not the end elements value will not be counted. So I have written 4:8, index number of A is 0, B is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will delete 4, 5, 6 and 7. These value will be deleted. So let's see when I press enter key, okay, or you can give the command now print A1. You can just write A1 also. So now you can see over here I have written 4:8. So index number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This V is having index number 4. So after A is this V has been removed, I has been removed, 1 has been removed, and 2 has been removed, because V is having index number 4. Now this is having index number 5, 6, and this is having index number 7. Index number 8 will not be removed. So this way you can remove a subset from a set of values. But suppose you have created a list and now you don't want that list to be used. Now you want to delete that particular list permanently. You don't want to make it blank also, just want to delete that particular list. So if you want to delete a particular list, you will give the command del and then A1. So del A1 is the statement that you will use to delete a particular list. So A1 list will be now removed from your system. So when you will give the command A1 now, so A1 is not defined, it is removed the element A1 including, it is removed the list A1 along with all its elements. So if you again give the command A1, nothing will be displayed because there is nothing called A1 now. With the help of del statement, I have removed A1 list. I hope this is clear to you. Now we will use one more function, and the name of that function is pop function, POP. A pop function is also used to delete a particular element, but there is a difference between pop and del statement. So let me first show you. Let me first create a list A2. Now that was A1, this was A2. Now I will be using the pop function in this. Now pop function, it is used to remove a single element, it is not used for slicing or to remove the values in a slice or in a range. It is just used to remove a value, a single value, but it also returns the value that it is deleted. Delete function, it will just delete the value, it will not return the value that it is deleted, whereas pop function, it will return the value that it is deleted. So if you use del lst, it will, or del A1, that I have created a list called A1. So if you use del A1, if you use this statement del and then A1, it will delete all the elements and the list object too. After this, no object with the named A1 would be existing. But we can also use pop method to remove single element, not list slice. The pop methods removes an individual item and it returns it. So if I want to use the pop command, I will give, there is a difference in the method how you are going to use del and how you are going to use pop. So if you want to use the del, you write del and then name of the list. But when you are using the pop function, you first write the name of the list from which you want to remove the value, then A2 dot, then you write pop, and then within small bracket, not the square bracket. For del you have to write the square bracket. See over here, square bracket. First you write del statement, then name of the list, and then within square bracket you write the index number of the value that you want to delete. But when you are using pop function, you first write the name of the list, then dot pop function, and then within small bracket you write the name of the the index number of the value that you want to delete. Suppose I want to delete the value which is present at index number 1. So it will delete B. A is having index number 1, B is having A is having index number 0, B is having index number 1. So when I write A2.pop1, so it will remove B. So it is also returned the value B that it is deleted. They deleted the value B, but it is returned it. It is displaying you that what I have deleted. So now when you will give the command A2, there is no B. But now let's try with del. If you want to delete the value now which is present at index number 1, that will be R. I will write del A2 and then index number 1. It will not it will not display the value that it has deleted. It will not return the value. Pop method, it is returning the value that it is deleted. It is telling us, see, I have removed this B, this value I have removed. Whatever value has been removed from with the help of pop function, I can store it at some variable also. But del function, it will remove the value, but it will not display the value that it has removed. So here with pop function you get an idea which value has been deleted. So now when you given this command, I will write A2. Now A has been removed with the help of del statement, but it is not displayed which value it has removed. But pop function, it returns the value that it has deleted. Now del statement can remove a single element or a list slice or a subset from a list. Pop method can remove one single element, not the slice. Pop method returns the deleted elements also. Now the pop method is used only when you want to store the element being deleted for later use. If you give the command l.pop, it removes the last element which is present in the list. Last element will be removed and it will be stored in X. If you write over here l.pop 0, the first element will be removed and it will be stored in this variable X. And if you write l.pop 6, it will remove the element it will remove the value which is present at index number 6 in the list L, and it will be stored in X. If you give l.pop, nothing in the small bracket, it will remove the value which is present in the last index and it will be stored in X. If you give the command l.pop 0, it will remove the first element. It will remove the first element and then it will be stored in X. So let's try this with an example. Okay, so if I suppose you can take any variable y equal to a2 dot pop. When I will give this command, the last element will be removed, or the value which is present in the last element will be removed and it will be stored in y. So when I will give the command y, it is displaying 4. So if I give the command z equal to a2 dot pop 0, first element's value will be deleted and it will be stored in z. So when I will give a2, we have removed 2 elements. A2, the first this element we have removed and this element we have removed. So now you are having AVI 1 2 3. So AVI 1 2 3 is the output. The first A has been removed and this 4 number has been removed with the help of these 2 functions or the commands that we have given. So these are some of the functions, and in the coming videos I will be telling you about some more functions that we will be using in list. The next function of list that we will be doing is index. So this index function, it returns the index number of the first matched item from the list. Like suppose we are having a list, we've created a list L1 with the given elements. So if I write over here L1 dot index 18, so it will look for the first 18 which is present in my list. There are 2 18s. So it will look for the first 18 which is present and it will display its index number. So the index number of the first 18 is 1. So this is the use of index method or index function. So the index function, it returns the index of the first matched item from the list. And if the item is not present, it will display the message that the particular value is not present. So if I have written 18 over here, since the 18 is present, so it returns the index of the first value 18 even if there is multiple 18s present in your list. And then comes your append. As I have already told you, the use of append is that it is used to add element at the end of the list, like colors dot append yellow, it will add yellow to at the end of the list. Over here it will add yellow, so you can see over here it's yellow. So let's try this index method. So I've created a list L1. So if I give the command L1, so L is capital, so if I give if I will give the command L1 dot index index, and the value that I want to search, suppose it's 11. So it will look for the first occurrence of 11 in the given list. So the index number of 11 is 2. As the index number always starts with 0, this 13 will have index number 0, 18 will have index number 1, and 11 will have index number 2. Therefore it is displaying 2. If I write 18 over here, there are 2 18s, but it will display the index number of only the first occurrence, that is first 18, not the second one. So therefore it is displaying 1, index number 1. And if you want to add a value, or if you want to add an element at the end of the list, for that you will use the append command. I have written one more 18 over here, so let's print. You can also give the print command L1. So you can see the output 18 has been added to this list. Now you are having 318. So the use of index, it is used to return the index number of the first match item that you have specified within the parentheses. The next function that we will be doing will be extend, EXTEND, extend method. So the use of extend method is that with the help of this extend method we can add multiple elements given in the form of list to a list. So if you want to add only one element, for that we will use append. If you want to add one element, like over here I have added one element to this list, one element. But suppose you want to add multiple elements, with the help of append you can add only one element at a time to an existing list. But if you want to add multiple elements to an existing list, for that we will be using extend method. So let me tell you how we can use the extend method. Like I have created a list called L1, and I will create one more list called L2, and then let's create a list 100, 200, 300 and 700. So this is the list that I have created. Now the extend method, it takes a list as an argument and it appends all the elements of the argument list to the list object. So L1, L should be capital, L1 dot EXTE and extend, and L2. I want to append the values of L2 in L1. Therefore, I will write L1 dot extend L2. Yes, I have already told you that extend takes a list as an argument. Whatever value you specify within this parenthesis, within this bracket, small bracket, that is known as argument. So extend takes a list as an argument and appends all the elements of the argument. Whatever elements are present in L2, 100, 200, 300 and 700, it will appends all the elements of the argument list to the list object on which extend is applied. I have applied extend to L1. So all the elements of L2 will be added in L1. So let's see the output. L1. So you can see now all the values of L2 has been added in L1. And if I write L2, so this is the list, or these are the elements of L2 and these are the elements of L1. So this is the use of extends. If you want to add only one element, for that we will use append. If you want to add multiple elements, for that you will use extend, but the whatever elements you are adding, it should be in the form of list. Like I have created a list. So if you want to add multiple elements to an existing list, so first you have to create a new list and add all the elements in it, then you can extend it. Or you can use the extend function after that. Now what if you want to insert or you want to add an element in the middle of a list? In the beginning I have told you that this topic I will cover later. So I have, this is the right time for covering this topic or this function. So append or extend, it adds the element or the elements at the end of the list. But if I want to add an element somewhere in the first position or second position or anywhere in the middle, for that I will use insert method, insert, insert method. So let me tell you how to use the insert method. So insert method takes two arguments, like here it is taking only one argument. This is the argument, one value within the curly small brackets. But if you are using insert, then you have to take two arguments. Like this is my list L2. I want to add a new value in L2 somewhere after 100 or after 200 I want to add it. Between 200 and 300, between these two I want to add a new value over here. I want to add a new value. For that I will give the command L2 dot insert, insert, and within parenthesis you have to specify the position. First the position will come where you want to add the new value. I want to add the new value at after second position or second index number. You have to specify the index number and then the value that you want to add. I want to add 250. So when I will press enter, L2, so L2 has been added at index number 2. So you can see over here 100, this is index number 0, this is index number 1, and this is index number 2. So first you have to specify the index number and then the value, and this value has been added in this index number. So this thing you have to keep in mind, where you want to insert and what value you want to insert, that you have to specify. Let's try with L1. L1 dot insert. I want to insert at index number 4 and I want to insert rev at index number 4. So let's press enter. L1 or print L1 you can type. So you can see over here at index number 4 you find this value called rev. 13 is having index number 1. In a sequence the index number always starts with 0, so the 13 will have index number 0, 1, 2, 3, and this is the fourth index number. In fourth I am having a rev value that I have inserted. So this is how we will insert a value in between in a string, in any sequence. Here it's a list. The next function that we will cover will be remove, R-E-M-O-V-E, remove. The use of this remove function is that it is used to remove the first occurrence of a given item from the list. So remove, it removes the first occurrence of given item from the list, only the first occurrence. Suppose in this list L1 there are 318. So if I will use the remove command, it will remove the first occurrence of 18. So it will remove this, not this or the third one. Only the first occurrence of the given item that I want to delete will be deleted. So let's try it. Let's try on L1 itself. L1 dot remove, R1 dot remove, and then the value that you want to remove. We will not specify the index, we will specify the value that we want to remove. In my case, the value that I want to remove is 18. So it will remove 18. It does not return any value, it is just it will remove 18. And now when you will print L1, 18, the first occurrence of 18 has been removed. Now only there are two 18s. 1, 2. This 18 has been removed. This 18 is still there, this is still there, but this 18 has been removed, which was between 13 and 11. So no 18 is over here. So this is the use of remove function. So if you want to remove a element, so for that you can use the remove function, but remove method, it is used to remove only the first occurrence of a given item or a given value from the list, only the first occurrence. For removing, you can also use del statement. Using del statement is very simple. Del and then L1 and then within square bracket you have to write the index number of the values that you want to remove. I want to remove the first element, I will write 0 because the index number of the first element is 0. So here you have to write the index number. In case of remove, you have to write the value that you want to delete. In case of del, you have to specify the index number that you want to remove. 0, it will remove the first value. So when you will give the command L1, the first value has been removed. I have also told you about the pop command. So you can also use the pop command to remove, or the pop function to remove a particular value. So if you want to give the pop function, you will use this function is in this method. You have to write the name of the list dot pop and then the index number you have to specify within small bracket index number. Suppose I want to remove the first element now. The first element is 11. So 11 is the first element. So if I want to remove the first element, I will write 0 index. So it is removed 11. Now the pop function, it returns the value that it is deleted. The pop function here, it is telling that hey, I have removed 11. Now the 11 has been removed. Now when you will give the command L1, there is no 11 over here. Now one more difference between pop and delete that I have told you earlier was that with the help of delete, you can either delete one element or you can also delete multiple elements, or you can delete entire list. The list object can be deleted with the help of delete statement, but with the help of pop statement we can only remove one element at a time. We can't remove multiple elements. With the help of del statement we can do that. We can remove multiple elements, we can remove this object itself. So let me tell you how to remove the object. First let's create one more list. 100, 400, 600, 1200 and 1600. So this is my L1 and this is my L2. Two lists are there. The one list is L1 with the file list that you can see on the screen, and other one is L2. Now suppose I want to delete L1 completely, the L1 object I want to delete. So for that I will give the command del L1. So when I will give the command del 1, it will delete entire list. There won't now L1 won't be existing now. Now when I will give the command L1, suppose L1, so you can see the message L1 is not defined because I have given the command del. The del statement has removed L1 list completely. This object has been removed from your system. Therefore it is displaying L1 is not defined. But suppose you want to clear only the list values. You don't want to delete the list. With the help of del I can delete the list too. But I don't want to delete the list, I just want to clear the values. I don't want the values, I want to make it blank. So if you want to clear the values, for that we will use clear method. So the clear method removes all the items from the list and the list becomes your empty list. So let's use clear in L2. So first L2, when I will print L2, it will display the items which are present in the list. But now I have given the command L2 dot clear, CLEAR, clear. So when you will give this command clear, it has removed all the elements from the L2, but it has not deleted the object. Object is still there, because when I am typing L2, now this is your blank list, a list without any values. Now this list L2 is blank, but you can add values in it. If you want to add values, I can give the command L2 dot append hello. So let's give the command L2 back. So there is one item over here. Hello friends. Next value I want to append L2. Now there are two elements inside L2. So this is the difference between del, pop and clear and remove. I hope this is clear to you. If it is not clear, you can watch the video again. Next we will be doing count, but before count, let me tell you the use of len function. Len function, it is used to count number of elements. About len I have already told you earlier also. The len, it is used to count the number of elements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 elements. Numbering will start all from 1, not from 0. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 elements, numbers of elements. But the index number always starts with 0. Index number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one will have index number 5. So length, it is used to count number of elements, and the number of elements, in this case over here there are 6 elements, therefore it is displaying 6. We can also take a variable x and then store the length in that particular variable x. Now x is having 6. X equal to length of 1, and length of L1 is 6. So inside x, 6 will be stored. Now the next function that we will be doing is count function. Now count function. The count function, it returns the count of items that you passed as argument. If the given item is not in the list, it returns a 0. So if I want to count a value which is present in list, how many values are present in list, how many 18s are present in my list. So for that I will use count function. So the count function, it returns the count of items or the values that you passed as argument. I passed 18 as an argument, so it will look how many 18 are there in L1 list, how many 18s are there in list L1. So there are 2 18s in my list, so it will display 2. If I write a value which is not present in the list, it will return 0. So count, it returns the number of values which are present in a list that you have specified in the argument. I have written 11 over there in the argument, so it will count how many 11s are there in the count of 11, or how many 11s are there in the list L1. So there is only one 11, so it is displaying 1. After count, the next function that we will be doing is reverse. This reverse method, it reverses the item of the list. This is done in place. In place means in the original object only it will reverse the values. That is known as in place. It will not create another list, but in place means in the same object it will reverse the values and store those values in the same object itself. Like over here L1 dot reverse, and then there's a function, nothing inside it. So when I will type L1, so now you can see over here the value has been reversed and stored in L1 itself. It hasn't created any other variable So a reverse function, it is used to reverse the values which are present in a list. Earlier it was 13, 18, 11, 16 and it was 14. Now it has been reversed. It's 14, 18, 16, 11, 18 and 13. Let's try this with one more example. Let's create one more list. I've created a list R1 and then I've written over here K A. You can take any value K A. Let's randomly enter any value. Okay, let's take C and next value let's take it H. Okay, K A and C H. Suppose this is the list that I have created, and if I want to reverse it, I will write R1 dot REVERSE reverse, and then you can see when I will type R1, you can see the value has been reversed. Earlier the K was having index number 1 in the beginning, now H is having index number 1, index number 0. C is having index number 1, N is having index number 2 and so on. So this is how we will use the reverse function. The next method that we will be covering will be sort function or the sort method. Sort, it is used for sorting your data which is present in the list. So let's first create a new list. So okay, let's create a list called R2 and enter values inside it 1, 4, 5, 89, 90. Randomly I will enter the value over here 41, 3. Okay, these are the values that I have entered. Print R2. So it will I've written wrong spelling of print R2. So it will print the values inside R2. Now if I want to sort it, that means sort function, it sorts the data or the items which are present in the list by default in increasing order. By default, if I just write over here R2 dot SORT sort, by default it will sort the values of R2 in increasing order. The values of R2 will be sorted 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 23. Okay. By default it will arrange the data in ascending order, in place means in R2 itself. But suppose I want to arrange the data in descending order. So if you want to arrange the order, if you want to change the order of the sorting, that means if you want to arrange the data in descending order, for that we will use reverse equal to true as an argument. Reverse equal to T should be capital, reverse equal to true. So when you will give this command R2 dot sort reverse equal to true, it will sort your data or arrange your data in the list in reverse order, in descending order, greater to smaller. This you can do with string value also. You will get the same output. Next we will be doing traversing a list. So what do you mean by traversing or traversing a sequence? So traversing a sequence means accessing and processing each element of a sequence. Since list is a sequence, through traversing. So we will use a hash sign. Hash sign, it is used to create a comment, so you won't find any error. If you will just write any value without using the hash sign, it will lead to an error. So if you want to define something, you want to write a comment, for that always use hash sign, and then you can write any comment over here. Hello friends, how are you? Or this program is used to generate this and this, or the use of this program. Hello friends. So no error. So this hash sign, this is known as a hash sign, and this hash sign, it is used to create comment. Comments mean non-executable statement. It is known as hash sign. This is your hash. It is used to create or write comments. Write comments. System will not execute it. System will not execute it. So these are also known as, if you want to create non-executable statement, for that we can use hash sign as a comment. So traversing of a sequence means we are accessing and processing each element of a sequence. In my case it's a list, so I want to access all the elements of a list one by one, that is known as traversing. Now the for loop makes it easy to traverse or loop over items in a list. So if you want to know more about looping, I've created a video of looping also, and you can watch those videos. So this is my list L1, and I want to access all the elements which are present in my list one by one. For that I will be using for loop. For I can create any loop variable. X is my loop variable for X in L1, and this is the block of L1 print X. Now here X is known as your loop variable. X is your loop variable. Loop variable. VARIABLE. To know more about looping, you can see the videos that I posted earlier. So what will happen now? L1 is having these values 13, 18, 11, 16, 18, 14. All the values will be assigned to X one by one. First 13 will be assigned to X, and then it will print 13, and then again the next loop will run. Again the control will go back to the 4, and the next value of L1, that is 18, will be assigned to X, then it will print 18. After that next value 11 will be assigned to X, to the loop variable, it will print 11. Next 16 will be assigned to X. In this manner all the elements which are present in L1 will be assigned to X one by one. Once all the element has been assigned to X, none of the element is left now, the loop will close automatically. So till there are values in this list, the loop will keep on executing itself. This loop will run. It will run continuously till there are values in L1. If all the values has been assigned to X, once all the values of L1 has been assigned to X, the loop will close. So let's see the output of this. Just press the enter key. So you can see it will print all the values one by one. First 13 is coming, then 18, 11, 16, 18 again, and 14. So this is how we will do traversing a list. We can also traverse a sequence. We can of string for, suppose for, you can take any loop variable. You can have taken A for A in computer computes, and then print A. So it will first, in this case first the C will be stored in A, then it will print C. Next the O will come to A, then M will come, then P will come, then T will be assigned to A, then E will be assigned to A. In this manner all the then space will also be assigned to A, it will print space, then again C will be assigned to A. All the values which are present over here will be assigned to A one by one. Once all the values has been assigned, the loop will close automatically. So when you will give this command, so you can see over here it is displaying all the elements one by one. So this was about lists. I hope I have made it clear what is list and what are different functions that you can use in a list, how to create a list, If you are having confusion, please watch this video again and do subscribe. Thank you for watching it.